What's going on, people? We're back again. Today, we're going to talk about how you can consistently close wholesale real estate deals, um, tactics, strategies. We'll answer your questions, about what we're doing to try to consistently close deals, what we see other people doing, the things that we think work, things that we know work, and all the things in between. You're looking at somebody who started wholesaling about 4 years ago, and the game has changed since the market started to shift. And just learning how to stay consistent with closing deals is a big topic, right? And like I said, you got somebody like Cordero that's been wholesaling ever since he was in diapers. Um, you know, so he done seen a few things. So he definitely know a lot about what you need to be doing to try to consistently close deals. So, and the first comment, Jaden jumping up in this thing, man, what's going on, Jaden? Um, but yeah, man, this how to consistently close deals is how to stay consistent is I always say it's life challenge, period. And how to keep your business consistent is your business life's challenge. So but man, how do you stay consistent, Cordero? How do you stay consistent at closing deals? How do you stick to your ABCs?
You gotta, it's like how you how you do anything consistently. It's just like the simple answer is just to always be putting the work in. I mean, just plain and simple. You gotta constantly be putting the work in. That's one thing about it. Even in this market, let's say that the deals are hard to get to. I'm just gonna take some example. Instead of cold calling 1,000 people, you got to cold call 10,000 people to get a deal. Well, you need to be consistently cold calling for sure now more than anything. You know what I mean? Not less, just because it takes you more. Maybe back in the day, you had to buy about 10, 15 PPL leads. Now you got to buy 20 to 25 to get a deal.
Yeah.
But you need to consistently buying those leads. So it's just like whatever you want the output to be, you got to be consistent on the input. That's what's going to equate.
No doubt. Rolex said, y'all coming on. I'm sitting on contract. Rolex, I hope you getting on a phone with them and sending it over to them so they can go ahead and sign it over the phone.
Yeah, I hope you ain't just shooting it out blind like, hey.
hey, like we said this, because we use, I know I used to do it all the time. You know what I'm saying? That's the way to do it. Until, dang, who said that? Because I thought we was together when somebody said that.
I thought it was Keith Everett.
Yeah, Keith said that. Yeah, Keith said that. But dude, I'm telling you, it's dang near. It's so close to 100%. It's so darn close to 100% sign rate that it's ridiculous. It's dang near 100%. It's company policy that we get on the phone, go over the contract, and sign it. I need to know you ready to go. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, dude. I don't know what the percentage was before, but I had tons of people in my that what hadn't signed. They kept sending them the contract over and over, sending another reminder. I'm looking. They viewed it. What time did they view it? What time did they open it? They probably doing this. You know what I'm saying? Nah, dude. Hey, we get on the phone. Boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? They said they need to do this. Oh, send it to me. I gotta go to. No, hey, we gotta get on the phone. But hey, dude, I'm telling you, I've seen it over and over and over again. You get them on the phone, you review it. Man, it's ridiculous. Yeah. What do you think, Cordell? I mean, I know I seen night and day. I mean, I was talking to somebody earlier. It's like in the heyday, how many contracts were we getting? You remember I was talking about getting 7 contracts, like a contract every single day of the week. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But we were just sending them out, hoping and praying that people would sign. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people weren't signing, even then. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm just saying I've seen a lot of contracts go out. Like I couldn't imagine how many contracts I've sent out. A lot of them. But nowadays, it's like if it gets sent out, it's gonna get signed.
Yeah. I think it's just doing that as a several variables that come into play. One, it's just like by the very nature to set it up, we gotta prime the seller to sign the contract. So
Yeah.
it's like what Byron said, we set an expectation. One is company policy that we send a contract over and we read it while we're on the phone. We let them know that because it is company policy, by the way. And I just want to make sure if we send this out, I ask them simple questions like, if everything looks good, is there any reason why we couldn't go ahead and get the process started today? Listen, do not ask them if everything, matter of fact, hold on. Don't ask them, can you sign today? If I send you over a contract, can you sign today? No, two things you do wrong there. The first one is saying, well, yeah, saying contract. You can say purchase agreement, but I'm saying the set them up part. It's just say, you got to add this. If everything looks good in the purchase agreement, when we go over it, can we move forward? That's the first thing. That if then part, you got to set them up, because if you just ask them, can we move forward? Then they're going to have to step in and say, well, if this looks good and if that's it, I'm like, yeah. Let me take that off the table. Assuming that this looks perfect, this will solve your problem. If I bring you the solution, like if I say, hey, Byron, I got this. I know you've been having problems with your knee. I know you've been having problems with your knee. If I bring you some medicine that'll solve all the problems with your knee, would you be interested in that? He might be like, yeah, but I don't like to take medicine. But if I say, hey, Byron, if I brought you some medicine that'll solve the problem with your knee and it don't got no side effects and it's completely natural and it's very cost efficient, is there any reason why you wouldn't want to try that? Which brings me to my second point. I didn't say, do you want to move forward? I said, would you be opposed to moving forward? Or is there any reason why we can't move forward? Because the right answer to both of those questions is no. Actually, you ask a question to where if they say no, then you get the thumbs up, because people like to say no. So if I say, do you want to move forward? The question is yes.
That's what I'm say yes. Yes.
Exactly.
Doesn't say yes.
But if I say, is there any reason why we couldn't go ahead and if everything looks good, is there any reason why we couldn't get the process started today? No.
They start thinking about other reasons. No.
And then they said no, so they feel good. I told them no. So
what you just said though made sense though. Like you was talking about my knee, it's like I might say no, because this is
exactly.
They got a chance to bring up the reasons that they wouldn't, and that way you have a chance to go ahead and address the reason that they would before you just blindly send it out, not even knowing the reasons that they wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was doing before. Like there was times I sent contracts out, person didn't sign it. Next thing you know, we end up talking to them again. They're like, "Oh, I didn't sign it because I thought da 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 da." Or I didn't know if you would do this. And it's like, oh dang, yeah, we've done that. You know what I'm saying? You would have solved it, but you didn't address it the right way. You didn't have that conversation just right.
That reminds me of a saying we always hear: "Closed mouth won't get fed." When I think about some of those old sayings, I think about them very literally, because you got to understand, the closed mouth won't get fed because he or she won't speak up and say what they want. And the person who has the ability to feed them doesn't know that they're hungry. That's the whole point of the saying. It's two parts of that story that we tend to think just the guy who's hungry, he ain't saying nothing. It's his problem. And in this case, we don't know what the sellers have objections to. Some sellers, by the time I'm done it, when we send them the contract and I start explaining it to them, before I can finish the first line, they're like, I already signed it. How do I send it back to you? That's how quick. But other sellers, they be worried about little stuff like, if I sign this, then what about this? If I sign this, then do I have to be moved out of the property by tomorrow? Just something silly that I wouldn't know that they had an objection about, or I wouldn't know that they had some sort of concern about. And so if you open it up that allows them to voice all of their objections, put them all right here, then you can deal with them. Help, that's kind of as part of your job. So yeah. And so that's one major thing that it does, is priming them to sign the contract. And then also another thing, sending the contract while they're over the phone, is We always say you got to control the controllables. This makes it a controllable now. That's my big thing. It's
Yeah.
like you can control the controllables. Let's start making things whereas before where we didn't consider them controllables, that's out of my control. Bring it into your control. Leaving stuff up to chance if you don't have to. I called the title company for this one deal we was trying to close, and they were just like, "Well, we just got to wait on the seller's lender." Okay, I'm gonna call the seller's lender. I got on the phone with the seller. I let the seller give me access to talk, and now I'm talking to the lender. I made it a controllable instead of sitting around and waiting. We just got to wait to hear back from somebody else. Simple as that.
Yeah, no doubt.
So that's another reason why sending the contract out with them over the phone is so powerful, because then at that point, you're making it. I can't tell you how many it just relieves so much anxiety. I can't tell you how many times where we just be sitting, send it out like, dang, a day go by, 2 days go by, like, dang, and now you trying to get back a hold of them. You might not even get a hold of them.
Yeah.
Especially in the heyday, 2020, 2021, they'll take your contract just to show another dude that they had already been talking to.
Yeah.
I got this contract for 155, you at 150. If you do 160, I'll go with you. And that dude said, all right, we'll do 160. And that guy doesn't let them get off the phone until they get locked up for 160. So
exactly, man. But yeah, dude, it's a game changer, dude. Talking about a game changer. That's a big game changer. But shout out to Rolex, man. Shout out to Rolex. Go ahead and get them locked up, dude.
Presidential.
So Tanya says you got a sweet talking through. Hey, Tanya been getting on the phone, man, with some of these leads that Rich getting and locking them up. Matter of fact, locked one up today. I was like, man, they told me to have the contract send the contract over, and like 5 minutes later, boom, finalized. I'm like, shoot. Yeah, but I've sat on the phone, heard her go through it. It's real nice, man, professional. It's like, man, I'm like, shoot, that's pretty good.
Yeah, excellent work. Excellent.
Yeah, no doubt, man, no doubt. But Rich said people like to say no. Yep.
People like to say no. So if you ask them a question where saying no leads you to the right direction, then you're setting yourself up for the dub. Whenever
you feel like you hit the lottery, yeah, you did. Because usually when people, like, let's say for any reason the seller go off and stop talking to you,
yeah,
once they reach back out, that's like, you know what I'm saying? You're like, oh, here we go.
That's like finding some money that you lost, or you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, where's that $20 bill I had? You know what I'm saying? Back before cars was really popping, and you used to have cash.
You start feeling that pocket. You like, hold on. Oh shoot!
Again, back to controllables. You can only do so much with a seller if they're not answering your calls, if they're not answering your texts, if they're leaving you on red. You can only do so much. You know what I mean? You can control your controllables. So when they hit you back up, it's almost like when you lose that money, you're like, man, that money gone. That 20 gone. That 20 was gone. You know what I mean? And then it right there in your pocket, or it's in your car up under the seat or something like that. You're like, wow. So when they come back, yeah, it does feel good. Absolutely. Or moreover to our point is when when you on the phone, you walking through the contract and you see that they hit finalized or done or that completed copy, you go, oh boy, it's like, dude, music start playing in my head.
Yeah, man, you like, let's go, shoot, yeah, man. But yeah, man. I mean, I think, yeah, man, that's a game changer, and that that goes into how to wholesale consistently, right? That's one big thing. Like getting on these phones and go through these contracts and make sure they sign. That's a big factor, right? That is the close. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So that's huge. You know, the first thing I would say to consistently closing deals is consistently getting closable leads, because we've had time periods where we was getting leads consistently, but they wasn't very closable. You know what I'm saying? Like they wasn't very closable, but now it's like, man, we getting closable leads and doing very closable disposition strategies, right? Specifically the MLS strategy, the biggest buyers list on the planet. You know what I'm saying? So that the combination, man, the combination of finding closable leads and using, I would say, I'm going to use these words. I don't know, Cordero might knock me upside the head for using them. The ultimate disposition strategy, right? The ultimate dispositions strategy listed. it's, like,
Yeah,
it's man, it's I'm just seeing it and it's like shoot. It's
that's 100% game changer, man. I think, and it's just crazy how it's like the market changed and it kind of forced us into this direction. And this is better than what we could have ever thought the whole time.
exactly.
Listen to properties, like as far as the disposition strategy goes, if you can secure that on the acquisition side of things, then from there dispoing that, it's like, dude, I mean, everything gonna come with its own challenges.
Yeah, it's gonna
You
be
got to
challenging.
deal with real estate agents. You got to deal with people trying to like snake you. You get a lot more people snaking you with this. I think that's why I was saying maybe we might need to have. I mean, we do everything virtually, and so having to rely on boots on the ground and only being in a place where you know somebody will limit you when that's not necessary.
Yeah.
And so, but I mean, it is. It's probably the ultimate exit strategy. Which actually, man, speaking of that, probably need. I got to get Jay's Florida lead back on the line because I called the title company and there's like, lady, no, this is something you definitely got to pay back. So we're probably gonna have to try to list that one, but I don't even know if the numbers will work out. She owed like a lot more than
Man,
what we
it's
thought.
crazy.
So we'll
Look,
talk about that. I might have to bring back because Byron do that more. I might have to bring you into the deal, Byron, and just have you list.
hey, dude, I'm telling you, you'd be surprised, man. You'd be surprised what people would pay on that market, man.
Dude, 1,000. That's the biggest thing. It's just like we have properties just like where it reset my whole expectations. We got properties that's like I'm talking about beyond trash, dilapidated, nearly need to
Yeah.
get thrown out, not even demolished, just thrown away in the garbage, and in places that you wouldn't think. Like if you in Tennessee in Bell Buckle, you get property in Bell Buckle, War Trace, or Winchester, not near the lake, just in the trash part of town.
Hell, buckle, baby.
And and the property's completely trash. You put it up there because that I don't know why we're getting offers far beyond what we would have ever expected,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
And we're closing on them, which is a blessing.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? What we've had a couple of theories and strategies beyond why we think listing it, because these are the same people. We can access these people. They exist in the world, and if we got to deal to wholesale, why can't we just call those buyers? Yada yada yada. Why do you think, Byron, this disposition strategy allows us to get to those people, and they're paying more?
Because a lot of these people that's reaching out and trying to get it, a lot of them aren't on people's buyers list because a lot of them have never bought before, or maybe they bought one property. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they got one, maybe they own their property and maybe one rental. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these people seem to be people that's like, I'm trying to either get my first rental or I'm trying to get maybe my second one. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these people are new entering the market. You know what I'm saying? That's the people that's going on Zillow. Like the experienced people, a lot of times, you're gonna find some on Zillow, but the people who overreaching, they like they looking on the market, all the stuff that's retail. If anything come in low, they like, hold on. Yeah, I'll take that right there. It's like, those are the people that we kind of seeing because, we seeing people that's just trying to get somewhat of a discount. They don't know any other way to get a property. You know what I'm saying? Zillow is it. They don't know no other way to get their hands on a property like an experienced investor would that's not going to pay that much. Well, if you can list your stuff a little bit lower than what's on the market, you know what I'm saying? It's a discount. Then they're like, oh yeah, I'm interested in that right there. because that's the lowest thing, or that's low. That's a discount compared to the other stuff that I've seen. But they've never seen wholesale prices. You know what I'm saying? That's like me when I bought my triplex. I bought my triplex. I was like, man, this is one of the cheapest things. It's in a good area. I had never seen wholesale prices. I didn't know. I never seen anybody send me a real wholesale price. Now I've had people send me stuff that's way too high. You know what I'm saying? They trying to wholesale it, but they got it way marked up. I've never seen real wholesale prices. You know what I'm saying? Where it's dirt low. you know, so people that ain't never seen that, they look at our stuff on Zillow and like, man, this is a discount, and they go after it. It get attacked. You know, so that's what I would say, man. I think that's the reason why a lot of the stuff be flying, because you got now before, like, how many people they said is on what's their platform? Not Lead Sherpa, Investor Live. Yeah. Investor Live. So how many people on Investor Live? How many buyers?
Tens of thousands. I don't think it's over 100,000.
No, it's millions. It's like 1 million or 4 million or something like that. Yeah.
I'm talking.
No, I'm saying, but they got 4 million buyers on there. 4 million buyers. But once you put that thing on the Zillow, you know what I'm saying? We talking about probably probably billions of people.
We got access to anybody
people from all over the world that's looking at this stuff. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like there's people all over the world, because people calling me. I'm like, man, they from, you know, India, Jamaica, you know, they from all over the place that's calling in, you know, and it's like, you know, they may have relatives that live here. They might live here themselves. I'm just saying it's a lot of different people from all over the place that's calling in, you know, and you got access to way more buyers. I mean, the buyer list that's on the MLS is way larger than Investor Live. And Investor Live is going to cost you what, $36,000 or something like that, $60,000 a year, something crazy.
Hey, some crazy behind price for this.
Yeah, we broke into the MLS for the free ski.
It cost us something.
It cost $150. Now I'm
talking about just, it wasn't completely free. It was a learning curve. We had to meet the right.
That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about actually.
And we lost.
But it wasn't nothing like $60,000.
It wasn't no 60,000. But I'm saying even that. I Speed the League got what, Deal Speed or something like that. Deal Speed,
but even though those platforms, they come with a big learning. They come with probably even a bigger learning curve.
But they was only like, I'm just saying, Investor Lift. I think because we used it, I'm just like, bro, hold on. This is some sort of. I think that they think very highly of themselves, because you see the little ads. We've got the new AI program coming out. I don't care. Actually, we just found the perfect buyer for your deal in your area with AI. I'm like, bro, list it on the MLS.
Exactly. Exactly.
You're on the MLS. You're doing all of that, just trying to act like they think that they're like Apple. I'm like, I'm sure you're impressed with what you're doing, but I'm like, from a user perspective, and then you charging. It's just like, dude, I think they got a certain person, they got a certain avatar that's just gonna be their customer, which is how business should be. But ultimately, I'm just like, there are better ways. That's what I'm saying. Don't talk like you the end all and there's better way. Like that's like me trying to advertise some sort of special drink that'll keep you alive. Water already exists, bro. Already exists, so.
Exactly, dude. It's crazy. But so Jay said, tell me about it, Byron. I've been getting some decent leads in between. I can't complain. No doubt, man. Do you see a bigger spread on the properties you list?
Yeah,
I would say. Go ahead.
Honestly, I was gonna say I think that's kind of what we was getting at, because that's a good question, Rich. Just like, I think the spreads they just surprise me. What is even possible? I think that where we would have a property where it wouldn't be a deal at all, because The seller wants too much. We could, as a cash offer, we couldn't make that possible. So with this, we can offer the seller more to secure the deal and then go ahead and go through with actually doing the deal. So in that sense, when we're comparing it to be a zero, where it was going to be nothing, now it is something. The spreads are definitely better, and it's just a better tool. It's a power tool. If we're talking about tools in the tool belt, it's a power tool. And yeah, then ultimately, a lot of times, if you can get that seller at that wholesale price, then the spreads are freaking, yeah, they're
Yeah,
there.
yeah, man. I mean, and like I think what Cordero was saying, it's like, shoot, it's darn near turning it back to 2021. It darn near because you can offer the seller more. It's like usually you got to, man, especially these days, you got to get them so deep discounted. It's hard to get anybody to say yes to those prices. But like when you can offer them more and still get it off, you know what I'm saying? That's when you start, that's why we able to get more stuff locked up and able to get more stuff off. You know what I'm saying? And then at the end of the day, you're getting them the best offer that they're gonna get. You're getting them the best offer. It's like, where they gonna go? Where they gonna go get a better offer? Nowhere. So
Yeah, man.
that's if you're doing your part, you know what I'm saying, making sure that you're taking care of the property, making sure that you're, marketing it, answering your darn phone, setting up the showings like they're supposed to be, being diligent about all that stuff. You know, you do have to do your part, but if you do your part, then you're going to get them the best offer. You
And
know,
so with that, again, like we briefly mentioned the kind of the hurdles and the challenges that you deal with. Um, can you give us an idea? Because Byron does more of that, the dispo. I do more of the acquisition. Can you give us an idea of what are some differences from what you do, how you would dispo a property before to now that come with listing it?
well, I mean, before it was more so just emailing out to buyers, right? We have a write up. We would write up, a little description about the property, all the details, and send it out to buyers, and then wait for them to send it back, send some offer back or something like that. But now it's simply going through and using these flat fee lists and broker lists and going through and just filling out their sheet, um, getting it, uploading the photos. That's one thing. It's like we really wouldn't focus on getting photos as much,
Yeah,
but now it's like we have to have photos. You know what I'm saying? It's
I
like,
think honestly there was a season where we were kind of making that transition.
yeah, we
Photos,
was trying.
even
Yeah,
if you're not doing the MLS strategy, photos help.
yeah,
But because they're downright necessary, we're you know
yeah.
we
Got to
see.
have. So, but yeah, so getting the photos, I think biggest thing was getting the photos, going through the. I mean, when you go to list this thing on their website, I mean, it's a lot of. I mean, the form is ridiculously long, and just filling stuff out is just ridiculously long, and it's a bunch of stupid questions. So it's just kind of annoying a little bit. But like I said, that's stuff I need to get off myself and set up systems where that can be automated and somebody can go and knock that out. But anyways, um, but yeah, going through and doing that annoying stuff, getting photos,
Okay.
uploading. Well, once it's active,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you got to make sure you're fielding calls. It's like you got to be answering your phone whenever. You got to be pick up your phone. Responding to people, talking to people. Constantly. So, um, you know, and then you got to vet out people. So I mean, there's gonna be people calling up that might be like we was dealing with buyers that may be trying to go snake you. It might be somebody calling up that's wholesalers that's trying to wholesale your deal. So what I'm starting to learn is like, man, we dealing with agents, dude. Like we dealing with agents.
And what he means by that is because we've had some cats downright, and this because it happened twice. If it had just happened once, I wouldn't even mention it. Maybe it was just a one off thing. It happened twice. when Byron puts the information, he puts his name as the point of contact on the listing. So when they call, it's his name. We've had 2 people so far that I know of call the seller and say your name is on the listing. So and they're lying, they're being dishonest. So what they're doing is seeing that it's listed and realizing that the seller, that we're listing it for the seller, and so they're skip tracing the seller, contacting the seller directly, and trying to so-called wedge themselves between us, as if in their minds they think that the seller doesn't know that we're listing it, right?
Yeah.
Well, we obviously are. We talk about the acquisition side of it. The seller signs an agreement. The seller knows that this is what we're doing. They're okay with it. Like, I mean, this is what we do. This is a part of the whole we couldn't list it without their permission. And so those are usually just one-off people who see the listing and are trying to waste the time. And so what Byron means when we're only dealing with agents, you cannot go to the house if you don't have an agent with you. Yeah. You cannot go to the house if you don't have an agent with you. Now, the agent and the buyers, I mean, we've dealt with this before. They can still be pretty trash. They can be pretty trash. They can still try to snake you, or they just careless in their work and unprofessional, but certainly careless. Hey, respect the seller, don't go over there, say nothing, and they'll go over there saying stuff anyway, whatever, right? But for the most part, what we've learned that when a real estate agent goes over there, the real estate agent has a certain level of profession, depending on the agent, has a certain level of professionalism that they have to abide by. They have what they call fiduciary responsibility. If the property's empty, it's not like we just sending a random Joe Schmo over there who might burn it down or do whatever. The real estate agent has some sort of, again, professionalism. So that's a rule that we learned, and I would advise you all to try that out. You cannot go I don't care what you offer. You can't go check it out unless you have a real estate agent with you.
And most agents do at least have somebody that they probably supposed to answer to.
Yeah. That's the point.
So if they do something stupid, it's like at least you could try to,
there can be with a random cat.
At least you can call up, maybe try to call up the broker, or at least say something to. Because I've had a situation, not even on a listing. It was, matter of fact, was it when I was buying my house? We was dealing with somebody somewhere. We had to call the broker and was like, hey, this agent was doing da 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 da. And you know what I'm saying? It caused problems for them. So they do feel some type of, hey, I got somebody I have to answer to, right? Versus just like a random Joe Blow that's like, okay.
Because look, the agents, and that's what I was, I guess, implying. The agent's license is always on the line.
Yeah.
They have a broker that they have to answer to. And if they are the broker, they are the head broker at the brokerage, then they have to answer to the commission. Ultimately, you can report that person. Yeah. Now, it depends on the realtor's commission or the real estate agent commissions. They might just give them a, don't do that again. And that's about it. But and fine them $50 or something like that, depending on what they did. But they have something to answer to because they have a license, and they can get their license revoked, and they could not practice. If I don't have a license, I'm operating under the lawlessness of not having a license. You can't take what you're gonna take from me. I didn't break a law. I just didn't act professional. So you know what I mean? You have a certain code of ethics when it comes to. That's why realtors, and I'm always hard on real estate agents and everything like that. But we got to understand that real estate agents, they do have, when they come get their license, they pay, they go to the class, all the course, yada yada yada. They have a certain set of rules that they got to keep their license, not just to practice real estate, but to keep their license. So yeah, if we send a real estate agent over to the property, this person knows that they have some sort of they have consequential repercussions. Their license is on the line at the very least. You know what I mean? So that's and we've still deal with some trash, because even with that being said,
still deal with trash.
When I say professional, I mean 8 times out of 10, they're going to be more professional to the seller, and you're not going to have, and their buyer client is a real buyer client. But that doesn't mean that they're going to be professional with us per se. That don't mean that they're going to be nice to Byron per se, because I don't know. I think he'd be dealing with some trash, man.
Man, You already know they out there, man. You already know they out there. But like I said, they're less likely just because they do have something that they might need somebody that they might need the answer to, even if they ain't like gonna do nothing to them. People usually don't want to have to deal with being any kind of reprimanded or anything like that. They most of the time try to stay straight. You know what I'm saying? If they can. So, but yeah, man. So that's kind of a couple of things that we deal with. We're going through the process, but of course, and like people's like, oh, you just started doing this. Like, dude, we done this. Like, we did this last year. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this ain't our first time doing this or whatever, but this is like getting this actually rolling consistently, you know what I'm saying, is and doing, this is like the thing that we do, because like now, shoot, we don't even send out contracts without the MLS listing thing. I haven't sent out one recently without the MLS listing on it. It's like, we always going for this. Like, this is what we're going for, number one. Anything else would be settling.
Anything less would be unfair.
Yeah.
We found the right acquisition channel and the right disposition channel, and if you're in this business, that's what it is. You're putting those two things together, and ultimately, I was right. Go back and watch the footage. Pull up the footage from over a year ago. I was just like, man, we gonna list every property. Byron was laughing at me. He was like, yeah, you was super excited. And then we hit a lull.
Yeah, I did say that. I do remember that. I was like, Cordero just excited, man. He watched one Sean Terry video.
We listed that property, and then after that, we hit a lull just because I think we were really working on the acquisition, the deal.
Getting the lead. Like, we needed to get the right leads in.
That's what we was like. That's what kind of slowed us up. And so I was like, man, never mind the disposition. We just need to get the leads in. Now we got that, and now we here. So ultimately, don't even worry about it. I'll get my flowers when it's due. Sometimes, someday, somebody. Yeah. Click on what Jay said, that last comment, bro. Need to sell my house, trash.
You are stupid, man.
But look, need to sell my house. As far as acquisition, that's a PPL service, a pay-per-lead service where they generate automated inbound online leads, and you pay for the lead per lead. Like, they send you one, it's like a $75 or $100 or whatever. You can put your bid. Need to sell my house fast is what it's really called. They send a lot of trash leads, but they will send you deals. It's like they're going to send you out of 20, you're liable to get 19 trash leads in one deal, but you're going to get that deal. So, and go back to also watch the video. I've been the only one consistently saying, do not sleep on Need to Sell My House Fast. I think they're great when you get that deal. Everything else, no, sir. When you get that deal, they're great. Everything else, dookie.
I think you just got to stay consistent, man. I mean, I went back and did my numbers. Even over time, it's still a deal every 20. You know what I'm saying? And we still see it with other people. If you consistent, it's a deal every 20. Coach got his deal. Ed got his deal. My brother got his deal. It's like, if you're consistent and you go after these leads, and you just doing what you're supposed to do, dude, you're gonna get the deal, man. Like, the deal's gonna be in there. It's gonna be up to you. It's gonna be up to you to
look, because Ed over here in the comment section basically saying what we're talking about here is just like, he said he thinking about taking his talents to properties. I'm telling you, don't sleep on Need to Sell My House Fast.
And that's the thing. Sometimes you focus on the wrong thing.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you focus on, they. What are you doing? That's most time what I do, man. Like, I'm gonna focus on, what am I doing? How can I make it better? How can I get better? And then attack. Most time you think, oh, this about this lead, this about this lead. Like, dude, we had a lead that came in, and it was a I mean, I guess we thought it was trash lead. There was multiple ones that we thought was trash leads. People asked full price. We end up getting them on a contract for way less and getting the deal done. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta keep following up with people, keep talking to people, just keep going after it. You know, follow up, and you know what I'm saying. You just gotta go hard, man. You know what I'm saying. You got to go hard. Keep following up with all these leads. Keep going, because like I said, dude, I haven't seen 20 leads come in and not be a deal in there. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, notice
I
my
just
boy,
haven't seen it.
he got 16, and he said all trash buckets. Like I said, you could get 19.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 16. You ain't even got, dude. You ain't even got the 20 yet, and you already got a deal.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I think Ed already got a deal because, and that's the same exact way with Jaden. Jaden's just like, yeah. I'm like, dude. First of all, again, another thing as far as focus on the wrong thing, focus on the results. That's a big thing that you got to learn how to do in this business. Is because, for example, even back when cold calling was a thing that I was doing, if you pay it, it's just like being in the stock market. If you pay attention to the up and down and the daily up and down, you like, man, this thing is just not stable. I don't see why people do it.
I was like, dude, I bought Walmart a long time ago. I bought some shares of Walmart a long time ago. I was like, man, this ain't doing that, man. It's just going up and down. My joint going down. My joint going down. Man, I looked at the back of that thing now. I'm like, man, even over that time, I bought that like back in 2010.
Oh, dude,
I was like, man, if I'd have held on to that, I was like, man, that jaw way up now.
Exactly, because it's about the staying consistent in what you do and just looking at the overall results. Because that's why we take a step and look back. You said you got yours after 12, so you bought 12 leads and got a deal, and now you're talking about I'm gonna leave this because while you're in it, the things that you have to deal with on the daily basis, try your patience, just for plain and simple. And this is whatever. Even if you go to property leads, the thing about property leads is their user interface, user interaction, meaning how we use the website is kind of better. Like they'll give you refund on leads. If you can't get a hold of the leads, they'll help you get a hold of the leads. How they target the leads and their ads bring in a different quality of leads or a different type of person. It attracts a different type of person. But, ultimately, it's just like, are you closing deals? That's why we do this, is to close deals. And you can definitely close deals on property leads, but you can't go to $75 on property leads like you can on Need to Sell My House Fast. Exactly. And so do not sleep on that. It's being a business owner and talking about consistency is about being able to look at those numbers. And when you're dealing with them yourself, it gets tough because you're like, dang, I got to call. But it's just like, nah, bro. You just got to take a step back and be like, okay, what did I actually do? What ground did I cover? I mean, it's a lot of things in life, I'm sure we can all attest to, that really don't feel like you're making progress until you take a step back and look at the overall where you started at and where you at now. And that's kind of, you experience that because I'm only saying this too because I'm not saying don't go to property leads. Do both, but don't abandon Need to Sell My House Fast for that reason. Because ultimately you'll get in the habit of thinking, oh, if it don't feel right, then it's not right. Well, ultimately, sometimes the best things that you got to do don't feel right. Like cold calling thousands of people or spending your money on leads and they keep coming back trash after trash. That's, it don't feel right. But ultimately, you get that contract and it is right. That's what matters. Got a contract today. Appreciate the content provided. Shout out to Winston. Shout out to my guy, Winston.
What happened?
I got a contract today. Dang, Winston.
What Winston at?
I want some of that, Winston.
Winston said, just got a contract today. Appreciate the content provided. No doubt, man. Hey, get it done, dude. Get it done. Hey, like we said, the acquisitions, time that, when you do your acquisitions, when you're putting properties on contract, consider your disposition. You know what I'm saying? You got to. that's what's gonna make the deal go smooth. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna make the deal go smooth. So Rich says, Cordero, he gonna give you your flowers, man. I ain't never seen that flower symbol right there though.
You gotta go deep off in the emojis to
I'm
get to
telling you, dude.
Thank you, Rich.
Jeez. So Ed says, I'm taking my talent to property leads. I'm telling you, dude, you need to take your talents to man, you need to, I'm telling you, dude, you gotta keep grinding and working on yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's the most important thing. So Tanya said to me, listen to Rich talk to some of the leads. I really they really seem to appreciate listing it. A lot don't because they worry about the cost of fixing. Yeah, no doubt. A lot of them, like the more we talk to them now, some of them are starting to be like fine with the listing. Because we like when we thought at first though, like how.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
That's what I meant by learning curve too, by the way. Because we was just like, why would somebody? We couldn't figure that out. But as soon as you get sold on an idea, then you can sell other people. I can't sell somebody something that I'm not sold on.
Yeah, I think that's what we needed to be sold. And man, I'm telling you right, I don't know about you, but Dwayne, dude, is what did it me. That's when it all clicked for me.
I think it was
me with Dwayne.
I think it was. I gotta add it all together. It was that process with the property in Texas and Fort Worth.
Yeah,
and
Sean Terry got us excited. Sean Terry got us excited.
So really, honestly, a lot of credit. So that what Dwayne did. This was recent. After about a year later, Dwayne and then Caretha again. So really, Caretha did a huge
and sealed it.
Because Caretha the one that gave us access to the Sean Terry thing to begin.
Yeah, Caretha the one need the flowers.
Real talk. Caretha really is the one that helped me, that sold me on it. I mean, Dwayne, Caretha and Dwayne, but mostly Caretha.
And you know what? You know who got Dwayne on? Caretha.
I thought so. I thought so actually. So Caretha. So again, it's just about being with. Byron talks about this a lot. When you can have access to the right people, because I can go get a book, I can go even sign up for a course, but to know somebody and to be able to talk to them and interact with them. So
exactly. I think that's what people always talk about, transactional. We're talking about build relationships, man, because when you are down, markets go up and down, but when you got these relationships, it helps you stay solid and help you elevate. So I think that's huge. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep your relationship strong. People are willing to help you. People willing to, put you on. So I'm telling you right now, man, it's about relationships, dude.
Yeah, for sure. Caretha really sold me on the idea, and it's improved. Like, it started just like a seed, and then you nourish it and it grows as time goes on. And ultimately, like, I'm to a point where like I can confidently say it. But
dude, everybody get these deal under contract with 2 properties.
Huh?
Got a dude in prison. Ed got a dude in prison, man. About to get him locked up.
Come on, Ed, stop it. Stop it.
On, Ed.
What Tanya said, she said it sounded like Richard explaining it to him. Richard got a way of making it sound very good. Like Richard, Richard explains how when we're finding a buyer, like we talked about that. Byron introduced me to that idea. I started doing it, being very transparent with our sellers, letting them know, hey, we're going to be finding an investor for you because we work with a network of investors, right? And I usually kind of nowadays I'm weighing and I'm like, we have investors in our network in your area that we already work with, which we do. Or if I can get your property approved for it, we can try this other strategy that allows us to list it to get more, yada, yada. But when Richard explained it and he'll get me on the phone and we're talking to these sellers, they'd be like, yeah, so your guy, he told me that you guys would be finding a buyer. It's like Richard gave him a crash course on what wholesaling is. And they're like, please wholesale my house. I'm almost I'm surprised one of them said so. Do you guys think you can wholesale my house for me, please? Can you wholesale? Richard need to be the spokesperson for wholesaling, dude. I'm telling you, like Richard, the way Richard breaks stuff down is actually superb. Tanya, you might not even know. You might take Richard. Don't take Richard for granted now. Don't take Richard for granted and take excellent care of him. But I think that just goes to show the more you're sold on it, the more confident you are in it, and the better you can explain it to the seller, the more like that's why we don't have many problems, right? We don't have many problems when it comes to pitching it. Now it's like there was a time when I was like, Kim, will you let me list your property for you? And the one in Valdosta, the lady in Valdosta, I flat out was just like, yeah, I don't think we're your right people. We're not the right buyer. And she was like, we're investors. She's like, yeah, I don't think you are either. I was like, yeah, we're not. But we do have this program where, if you want to reach out to me, let me know. We do have this program where we'll list the property for you. We'll do this, and this for you. So just let me know. Give me a call back if any of that sounds appealing to you, because I know you can list it yourself. I gave her all the options. She was like, wait, hold up. You can do what now? And so this lady is beyond sold on the idea. And it kind of pushed me over the edge hearing how Richard does it. I was just like, now it's just like she's sold on she sold on the service, but it's just like this guy's value. Reiterating this, I say this all the time. We provide value to people. We got to stop looking at it like, man, how can I please? It's just like, dang, how can I please give somebody some money? It's just like that shouldn't be a hard thing to do.
Exactly. Right? When Dwayne came in and said what he said, that's what kind of sold me, because I kept telling you, like, dude, this is actual valuable. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is actually a valuable thing. Like as before, I thought I was just thinking like, man, what? You know what I'm saying? I didn't understand where the value was. So understanding that is helped me out a lot. So Rich says they'll trash at refunds, but there's deals on there for sure. Yeah, I think that's the thing. Coach said I got mine after 12. Yep. After 12 got his deal, he's gonna be closing next Tuesday, dude. Next Tuesday, coach will be cashed out. I mean, they don't want to list with a real estate agent because they would have to fix it themselves, and pay the real estate agent on top of that. So it's a copy that I'm holding tight for sure. Y'all right. Positive thoughts breed positive results. Yeah, no doubt, man. Like I said, just focus on you. Lead, come in, call them up. Them 16 leads that you got, go call them jokers back. You know what I'm saying? Get people back on the phone. Because, you know what I'm saying? Most of these people, I would imagine that most of these people who coming on here ends up selling. So you need to continue. Because we would look at, even when we would text people, like people would say yes and then stop responding or stuff like that. We would look back and be like, those people sold. You know what I'm saying? So they actively reaching out. Like they gonna, you know what I'm saying? They something going on where they probably, most of them are gonna sell their property. You know, you just need to be there, keep following up. Like Earl say, always be there, be in the right spot. It's not about being in the right spot at the right time. Always being in the right spot. You know what I'm saying? Continue to talk, build a relationship, You know what I'm saying? I got still leads I'm working on from March. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you just gotta keep it going. So Winston got his contract. So Jaden says, if you guys were dead broke and had to have a budget of how much to save to live safely and have a budget for 23 leads, how much would it be? Dude, I don't know. It depends on how you living.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I'm not sure I entirely understand your question. In this scenario, are we living back home with our parents, or are we paying our own bills?
If I'm dead broke and I'm living at home with my mom and them, I'm just gonna work and buy leads as I go. You know what I'm saying? As much as I can. You know.
You got 5 kids in the equation? I'm not entirely sure.
I'm like, dude, if I got all these darn kids over here, I'm like, shoot.
Let's assume
what I did when I had all my kids, though.
Yeah, Robert has 10
regular
kids.
job, and I kept all that stuff the same. All right. Well, now since all that is stable and the same, I'm gonna go do something that's extra. And so all the extra money is just extra money. So I'm gonna put all that extra onto the leads. You know what I'm saying? I put all that into getting batch dialer. I mean not batch dialer, the text that batch had, batch leads. I use that to skip trace. I use that for prompt screen. I use that to do all the stuff to text people and to cold call people. I think I was using call tools back then. But yeah, I use all that money to do that, and that's what funded it, right? Not my teaching money. Teaching money just kept the family the same. And then the extra money went to building the business. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of how I did it.
Yeah, it's just a joke on the street. And let's assume that he's saying like how much, no matter what your living scenario is, how much money would you try to squeeze out on the side to buy leads? Let's assume that I'm going to assume that that's what he's saying, and I would be like, I would try.
I'm buying leads when I get $75.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. About 75, and just because also that allows you, that promotes you to be consistent. Right. So every extra $75, you're not gonna spend it on getting eating out. You're not gonna spend it on, and then you can also break it up into bite-sized pieces. Now it's obviously gonna take you a lot longer, but it's better to consistently be chopping away at your goal than to not be doing nothing because I ain't got $2,500. Okay, but you can get $7,500. You know what I'm saying? It might take you $1,500 in total spent. But instead of waiting to save up $1,500 and then spend it all at one time, $75 at a time. And so I think that would be the way, and it keeps you consistent and it keeps you honest. So yeah, definitely.
So Rich says if you're going to 10x, don't drop something you're doing. Do that plus more.
Yeah. That was the principle in the 10x, well, the 10x mentor and the 10x rule a little bit. But it's just like you need to add other things. And let's get very clear what we mean by other things. I don't mean that everybody in here needs to also be doing business acquisition and stocks and real estate and trucking. That's not what I mean. But it's just like your priorities and what you have to handle. And then you need to prioritize what's most important, what you really need to do. And you need to be able to 10x in that direction. And as you, for example, if I'm going to add need to sell my house fast and you're going to add property leads, Ed, then don't slow down on need to sell my house fast. Stay there and add property leads.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
For sure. So it says, what's the breakdown when I think he's saying listing
or using, yeah.
What's the percentage that the real estate agent takes? Does that interfere with our spread at all? Well, you just calculate that into your spread. That's what you do. And I used to do this even back in the heyday when I was using an agent to sell my properties to cash buyers. I calculated their fee into the spread. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what we do up front. So we looking at it, we need to get them down here and we're going to be able to sell it up here. You know what I'm saying? With in mind that we do have to pay an agent 3%. You know what I'm saying? It's one agent and we have to pay them 3%. We keep that in mind, So Jaden said,
yeah, that's a good point. It's like, it's that age old saying, I'd rather have 50% of something than 100% of nothing. Right. Yeah. And there's a balance with this because I want to add, don't be discouraged. Yes, that was a very good question too, Ed. Yeah, you do got to think of that. So I think you just touched on it, Byron. Really, we're not paying much on the seller side. We just pay the flat fee. It's mostly on the buyer side when they bring their agent. If they bring their agent and they're not going to pay, and we got to offer to pay their agent, fine, right? But if the spread is 30K and calculate the agent percentage and they get 15K, that's a big chunk. That's a big chunk of your 30K. But every other offer wasn't hitting. You know what I mean? Every other offer wasn't hitting. What you gonna do? Say no to the 15K that you get to keep for yourself?
Yeah.
Say no, right? But again, there is a balance because our guy Ty,
Yeah, they're crazy.
I don't even want to talk about that.
Yeah,
Ty don't want to talk about that.
no, dude. So Jaden says I could be holding a baby. What if I get a lead up dropping them and call they say I would say, hey, you got me up there and hold up at holding a baby, dude. You don't need to be even having the word baby. You don't need having the word baby in your mouth. You 21 years old. So I'm playing, y'all. You better be playing. Couldn't do without you guys. Yeah, no doubt, dude. Trust me, Richard is pampered around here.
I got you, Rich. You see how I threw that little extra on there? You got to make sure Rich is taken care of. Make sure he's getting his back rubs, Tanya. I got you, Rich.
Say, gotcha. Right. Yeah, no doubt, man. It's like, dude, you just got to get out here and grind. You got to get out here and, man, put your best foot forward and, get after these leads, man. You got to work the mess out of them.
You got to work the mess out of them. And to a point you made earlier, go back, hit everybody else. And I know a lot of y'all already doing it. Go back and follow up with those leads. The thing about it, and I was talking to Jade about this at one point, y'all just getting in and y'all thinking about, okay, it took me 16, I bought 16 leads to get to get the deal. And you thinking the 16 leads ain't nothing. Y'all hadn't been in this long enough to feel what it feel like to call somebody back that you thought wasn't nothing and it turned into a deal. Y'all don't understand that part yet. And I'm really speaking to myself, because there was a time where I didn't understand the power of follow-up. I would follow up, but I'm like, I talked to him already. He already wasn't talking about nothing. She already said she asking too much. But life changes, people change, things change. And when you get that person back up after they've gotten news that they need to sell, after they got news, or it don't even got to be bad news. Even if they got good news, I just got that new job offer, but it's at the other side of the country. I'm moving from Georgia to Seattle, Washington. And I'm really excited about this, but I got to move now in 2 weeks. That changes things. That make a person more pliable. And so if you don't follow back up with that person and keep talking to them and keep touching them, then you've shot yourself in the foot. You paid for a lead that you didn't really do justice to. And also maybe your strategy changes. Maybe something changed about you. Now you know about the MLS thing where we didn't even have that before. Now we can call some people back and say, hey, man, you wanted to get this, right? Well, what if I can get that for you? If I can make sure we get that for you and we can do this, this, and this, would you be opposed to letting us go ahead and list the property for you? No opposition? Okay, so that follow-up is going to be key. Follow up until they close, sell, or die.
Jay said, I have a little brother behind. Say about the same as your son. He's one. That's crazy.
I never really thought about that, Jay. Jay introduced me to his little brother, man, and I didn't really think, man, because I wasn't thinking that Jay was like 21 now, so that's a monster gap. I got a little brother, two little brothers. They're like 10, 11 years younger than me. But.
I guess I almost could be Jay daddy.
Dude, cut it out, dude. You like 30. You like 35.
Me and Jay probably about the same age. That's crazy, dude. But these young cats up in here, man. But shoot, man, we about to get off this thing, man. We had a good one tonight. Went through a lot of good stuff, man. Appreciate everybody who came through. Jaden, Rich, Precious, Love Me, Rolex, man. You gotta let us know if you got that deal or not. Tanya, you coming through. Ed, appreciate you coming through, man. We're gonna get that deal locked up. Don't worry about it. Coach came through, man.
Coach, man. Can't wait. Coach might be the first person to close a deal.
Yeah, first one to close it.
Okay. And
shout out to Winston for getting the property under contract.
Yeah.
No doubt, man. But shoot, appreciate y'all for coming through, man. All my people on IG that came through, appreciate y'all for coming through. And until tomorrow, man, peace out.
Peace out.